Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Ontario Knife Company SP-1 Combat. This is their marine style fighting knife. Unfortunately, as many of you know, OKC did go out of business. They weren't making ends meet, so they had to sell the company. There is some of this stock remaining. I did get this from a friend, but we're going to go over some of the pros and cons, some of the specs of it, and then get into the review itself. Stay tuned. This is the OKC SP-1. It is constructed out of a 1075 carbon steel, so definitely a softer steel. The good thing about that is you're going to be able to get a decent edge on this thing over something like S30V or a more premium super steel, quote unquote. You get 12-inch overall length, so not too bad. 7-inch blade length, as you can see here. Definitely a beefy guy, kind of like the K-bar style look. You do have a clip point. The handle is right at 5 inches, not too bad there. Blade thickness for you guys, 0.19 inches. The Rockwell on this guy is between 57 and 59 from OKC's website. You do have a flat grind, so definitely going to be able to do a variety of different work. Just a basic utility knife all the way to a food prep if you want. It comes in at just under 10 ounces and it is made in the USA. Now, where you can find these, typically the last going price I saw these guys for was about, I don't know, between 40 and 60 bucks. Definitely not a high-end knife. OKC has had some quality issues in the past, but I haven't noticed anything too crazy or too major on this particular knife. Let's get into the review. For test number one, we're going to start with paracord. So I do have just some basic 550 here. This is supposed to be a marine fighting knife, so let's see if we can just do the basic tasks of any field knife. Already having some issues. All right, definitely some pressure needed. I have not even honed up this edge yet. I did get this from a good friend of mine in a recent trade, so I might have to hone that up. So I'm not going to really get on the knife's butt too much about it, but let's see if we can do it again with some more. Again, this, depending on how this performs, this might be a good contender. It sliced through a couple of the strands, having some issues though with just the paracord. Cut through that. I can see this being maybe a good go bag knife or something like that if you can get a really good edge on it, especially with the flat grind. You can do a multitude of tasks. It is decently heavy, so you've got like a lightweight survival knife almost, but not super awful. I think you do have a 90-degree spine. I could be wrong. You could always put that on the belt sander and get it to where it needs to be. Okay, hemp rope and the OKC SP-1. Hemp rope is very strong, so let's see how the OKC does. Having some issues, to say the least. Able to finally get through. Definitely needing a decent bit of force. Again, this is more of just like a tactical field knife, so it's not really meant for stuff like this, but interesting to see that I actually cut through it. Definitely took a little bit of work though. All right, let's move on to test number 3. We're going to take a look and see how it does at making just a basic spear point on this curvy boy right here. So just found some dead wood on the ground on the hike up here. We are going to try some chopping here in a minute. This is some extremely dense wood. It's not doing too great of a job. Let me feel that edge on there. We do have a pretty sharp edge. It's just not wanting to bite into that wood for whatever reason. Again, this stuff's been out here drying for God knows how long, so. I mean, typically at this point with any of your Moras or any of your dedicated bushcraft knives, that'd be a point in less than 10 seconds. Again, not the best. It's decent. It would get the job done, especially if you're just making like impromptu tent stakes or a little campfire. Definitely could do it. We're gonna try to cut some cardboard with these OKC SP-1. It's probably the first job it's done excellently well. I like putting the knives to this test. Typically with thicker stock though, what you get is more difficulty cutting through this kind of stuff. So let's see if we can stab it. Decent piercer, nothing too bad. a couple more. Yep, overall, not too bad with the OKC. A little bit of chopping. You have a slight piece of wood right here. You're going to see how the OKC does. You do have this little, what do you call that? At the end of the tang there, hold your pinky on. You do have a point you can put a lanyard on that so you can hold on to it while you flick. It is 10 ounces, so this should cut pretty well. Not too bad. Honestly, I've seen better, but I have seen worse. So definitely if you have to, cut up some kindling, get a fire going in a field environment, the OKC is more than usable. Try that one more time. The one thing I'm noticing though, it just doesn't want to bite. It really doesn't want to bite into this wood. Now again, this is some extremely dry hardwood, so I can't necessarily blame it, but it should be able to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, overall, not too bad. Let's so the knife does come with a nylon sheath, as you can see here. It has decent retention. It is ambidextrous. As you can see, I have it on the molly part of my day pack, and it rides nice. You can pull it out fairly easy. I will say, haven't noticed really any issues with it trying to slide out or fall out. You do have a polymer insert there, so no issues there. So I really wanted to get out here and film this, with the advent of OKC going out of business. Just, show one of these off, so if they are still available and you guys want one, you can basically know what you're getting. The polymer construction of the handle, I haven't noticed any hot spots, so that's definitely a good thing. I definitely think if you put a piece of paracord through there, it'd be a lot better with chopping. I mean, you do have 10 ounces. That is in the category of a lightweight survival knife, so nothing too terrible. The only thing I've noticed is that edge. It's not the greatest. It doesn't bite as deep as I would like it, but again, that's not necessarily meant for just woodscraft and bushcraft. I think this should be like an overall field knife, which it is, and it does a lot of things decent, which is something you look for in a knife like this. Again, OKC has had some quality issues over the years, but I haven't really noticed anything fit or finish issue wise with this particular guy. I've been pretty impressed. Now I do think I will say it is very slicey and piercing. You do have that nice swedge there on the clip point. So if you did have to use this in a defensive scenario, fighting knife, I think it would do more than okay. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm a pretty big fan of this knife. Again, I wouldn't use this as my go-to camping knife, but if this is all I had, I could make do with it. I think it's a decent knife, especially for the money. If they're still out there and you want one, pick one up. Not too bad of a price. Again, 40 to like 65 bucks. So definitely that is, yay for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please have a fantastic day.